Come to order. Today's meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is called to order on June 26, 2024. Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Agendas of today's meeting are on the wall at the entrance to council chambers. Please remember to turn off your cell phones. The Municipal Code Enforcement Board consists of 7 members who are appointed by the City Council. We serve voluntarily. It is this board's intention to promote, protect, and improve the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Clearwater by providing this equitable, effective, and inexpensive method of enforcing certain city codes. The board considers new business items in 2 parts. First, the violation, and then affirmative relief. The formal rules of evidence do not apply. Each side is limited to 15 minutes. The board may grant additional time. All proceedings will be conducted in a calm, civil manner. Individuals who conduct themselves otherwise will be asked to leave. If necessary, they will be escorted from the chambers. Now I ask all who plan to speak to please rise and be sworn in by our clerk.
Do you swear affirm to tell the truth throughout your entire testimony? I do.
Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes of last month's meeting. I'm going to ask for a motion to continue.
So moved. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm ahead of the game.
I'm going to ask for a motion of continuance so we can approve our June minutes in July. Can I get that motion?
I'll move it.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Is there anyone here to speak on items that are not on today's agenda? If so, step forward. Good afternoon. State
Welcome,
your name.
members. I'm Bill Johnson, 2694 Redford Court West, and I've spoken to you before about some of the cases that have come by. And 2 things happened in April, which was the last board meeting that I've been to. And one, I'd like to specifically commend the board for the action that you took on 801 Barber Drive. It was a case which was fines had accrued, they got huge, and they were resolved, and they came in and they asked for the abatement of the fees down to a administrative level. And you folks appropriately said, hey, wait a minute, this has been going on too long, and so you, instead of just administrative, you applied a $5,000 resolution of that amount. And I think that is so important, especially since some of these things have gone on and on and on. Your job, the city's job, is all about compliance. And if things go on and on and on, you can't just take out the whiteboard and erase the fine. There should be some accountability for those cases. So I thank you for that, and I would encourage you to continue that into the future. I'd like to give you an update on a second item that was considered in April, and it's the property at 2117 Beecher. It was a property, a gentleman came in and said, we just bought it as part of a purchase of a whole bunch of properties, and they were asking for time from you to continue it, and just share. This is what the property looks like today. If anything, no, I'm sorry. This is the way the property looked like in February. You notice that the board in the doorway. This is the property today. There is a door there, I assume to keep kids out, but the rest of the property is in really bad shape. You had given, according to your minutes, a suspense date of May 24th, and this is a picture taken from the people that live behind or to the south of that home, looking at that wall. You can see that they have some deck chairs there with the back to the property. And I can understand why they would not want to be facing this property, because it's a true eyesore for this. And I was surprised that this was not on the agenda today since the respondent to correct the violation on or before May 24th.
Have you spoken with the code enforcement officer on this one?
I did ask them, and they said that the property there is a permit is pending on it, but for Pete's sakes, they could at least cut the grass. As indicated on this picture. I don't know that they're really, it's difficult for this board or any of us, I think, to determine whether they're really making a good faith effort to come into compliance, but.
Well, if it comes back up before us, we'll address it then for sure.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask another question? On that last photo you had at the end of the structure, yes, there is that loft window above, is that open?
Yes, appears to be totally open.
Water intrusion,
All kinds.
which leads to multiple.
I remember him coming in, and he owns multiple properties.
Yeah,
And he was wanting extra time. I don't know how long we gave him. I can't remember that. But he didn't show all these pictures that you're showing.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I prefer that there is no discussion any further on this. This will be coming back before you, and want to make sure that everybody makes their decision based on the presentation by the city at that time.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for bringing that to our attention.
thank you.
You have a good day. Is there anyone here else to speak on items that are not on today's agenda? No? All right, well, we will get to our new business items. Oh. You need to speak something that's not on our agenda? Okay, come forward. And state your name and address for the record, please.
Vicki Haas, 3035 Oak Cove Drive, Clearwater. About, I don't know, sometime last year, I asked you to read the code, or the state statute on reporting code violations and them being anonymous or not anonymous. Do you remember? There's a Florida state statute that says,
Yeah, I'm familiar with the statute.
okay, well, you read it. Could you read that one?
Read it
Don't I
when?
need to
What-
be a little more specific, I think?
You know, what statute, on how to,
The law changed, and you could no longer report
anonymously?
anonymously.
Yes.
That's the one I'm referring to.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to speak to
Right.
the board, not for us to have an interaction. If you have questions,
Okay.
you can speak.
Can we have that statute read?
I don't have that statute in front of me, ma'am. All I do know is that you now have to provide your name and a contact.
Right, and
for
I have yet to be given any of that information on the violations that are given to me.
As
And-
far as who contacted the code enforcement on you?
Correct, and I'm still
Um,
not getting that information, and that's why it was read aloud, because I'm still not getting that from the code enforcement people.
Okay.
So I would,
You want to know who
I want to know who keeps reporting me.
keeps reporting you?
And,
Am I wrong? Is she allowed to know who's, then you can.
okay, so
If there was.
I, Vicki Haas,
Yeah.
would like those names given to me for each
Okay.
violation that was
So what's the
reported.
proper procedure for that?
It's a public records request.
Oh, have you
Oh.
done a public records
No, I
request?
don't know how to do
That's
this.
what you need to do.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
who would I contact about doing such a thing?
Public records, I believe, down at the courthouse, maybe? Or
She
city
can
clerk?
submit
State
a
office.
public records request online through the city's website.
Okay, there you go.
Can you do it here, like in person?
Yeah, if you go ahead and just tell me, like, I understand what you want, and I will let staff know that you are looking for that information. You can consider this the public record.
Okay. So I've requested it, and I will get that information. Thank you so much. Is that
Do you
mailed
have
to
a way
me?
to
or-
contact her?
Yeah, we have to have a way to contact you as far as like a phone number or an email
Okay.
that she can get in contact with you, the public
Okay.
records.
Put it down here.
Thank you, Ms. Haas. Is there anyone else here to speak on things that are not on today's agenda? No? Okay, we will get into our new business items, which is 4.1 on our agenda, is continued from May 22nd, 2024, case 32-22, status update regarding respondents Coachman Creek Condo Association at 2625 State Road 590, building number 5, in violation of code for unsafe building. You want to,
Mr. Narconon, I'm sorry, I just changed the name on you.
oh, okay. Mr. Narn, you want to come forward?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Board. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
As for the continuation of the case of Building 5, the permit has been closed out completely. Building permit is finalized, so the work has been completed and the case has been satisfied. So we found everything to be closed out and good to go.
Things good?
Awesome.
All right, good deal. Well, thank you so much.
Very welcome.
I guess that answers what you're going to add to it.
He's got his earnest.
We don't have to see you again next month, yeah?
No, we don't have to make that an agenda item, right? No motions to make me not appear ever again. But, just for the record, Attorney Nick Bazania is here with Raven Parker Gurley on behalf of Coachman Creek Condo Association. Every time I've appeared in front of you all, I think I've always opened up with folks, it's been a long time coming, but we're almost there.
Yep.
As we've just heard, it's been a long time coming, and we're here now.
We're here.
So,
We've reached the
really appreciate the patience that the board has had through this process. As I confirmed with the clerk, apparently this has been going on since April of 2022.
Yep.
So, long time. And
It was a scary situation by the pictures,
absolutely.
so I'm glad that it's all sealed up and everybody's safe out there, and you don't have to come back here anymore.
Quite so. So,
Thank you for the
You come back and visit us.
Yeah, you can come back and visit.
why not, right?
Well, thank you
Just to
for
say
the
hi.
updates,
Yeah.
and it's exciting to see something finally come to fruition and everything's closed and done properly. That's, it's always nice to see, so thank you.
Absolutely.
Well done.
Thank you
So,
all.
Mr. Chairman,
yeah.
this is declaration.
Yes, we have, can I get a declaration?
No, there's no action.
Oh, there's no action? We don't have to?
No action.
Okay, well,
Okay.
thank you so much for the
Won't make
update.
close matter. Thank you very much.
Take care. All righty, on to our next item on our agenda is 4.3, continued from April 24th, case number 53-24, fine respondents residents at Renaissance Square Condo at 1216 South Missouri Avenue in violation of code for unsafe building, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that?
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Clint Morrell. I am counsel for the residents of Renaissance Square condominium.
You're gonna be as nice as that last attorney.
I will be. I'll try my best. He was pretty nice.
Okay.
So, thank you for having me here today. We are here on a violation notice that was received back in October of 2023, and it's taken us, a little bit longer, the association a little bit longer than we would have liked for various reasons that I could get into to address this. I'm going to give you sort of the Cliff's notes, if you will.
Okay, let me stop you right there. I just have one question for you to answer, and then you can come back up and talk on the case. Do you admit or deny the violation?
I'm denying that the violation, there's an unsafe building, but we're acknowledging that there's work that needs to be
If
done to
you'll-
remediate.
If you'll have a
the building.
seat right over there, we'll hear from the city, and then we'll bring you back up.
All right.
All right, who is this? Mr. Nard, Inspector, you want to come up and state the city's case, please?
Thank you very much here. I get this pulled up.
Yeah, that one was continued to That's what I forget. I don't read it all the way.
Where at? Thank you. 1216. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay, there's lots of like that. It's all in the actual testimony. So
Good afternoon, Board. This case is for 1216 South Missouri Avenue, Unit Number 202, building construction case technician with the City of Clearwater, case number 5324. Here at the property, for the violations is Section 1305, or 3-1502, property maintenance requirements, and Section 3-1503 for nuisances.
What do they call the slideshow? It makes it bigger.
Where do you, I'll look it up.
It's awful hard to read from here. You gotta make it bigger, maybe.
Board's real old. We need.
Beautiful. No, I just needed a little help on how to, thank you very much. All right.
My glasses only work up close.
I was squinting.
The original notice of violation was sent out 10/5/23 with the compliance date to be 27 days after the receipt of the notice. Certified mail was sent out 10/11/2023. And then the notice of hearing was sent out April 29th of 2024. This is the location of the property just off of Missouri, here in the highlighted in yellow. Here's the pictures. You can find the damage around the window in this unit, number 202. Wow. We've got some serious rot around the windows and deterioration. And for compliance to be met for this case is to have a licensed contractor obtain and complete required permitting for any repairs necessary. The recommendation for the case, apply for, obtain and complete permitting by 11/1/23, or a fine of $150 a day. The violation continues to exist.
You mean 24.
24.
That's okay.
I apologize. I was just supposed to do that earlier.
Could you go back to that picture that the one before that? Or the long shot? Yeah, right there. Is that from the ceiling or is that from around the window?
Is
there a unit above them?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so
Yes,
it's
sir.
not the roof that's coming down into the windowsill, it's the window itself, okay.
Getting some water penetrating through from the outside. I'm not sure
Okay.
where exactly it's
Caulk up and stuff.
come from.
Board, do you have any questions for?
Yeah, I got a question, just to clarify something. Are you taking this picture from the inside?
Yes, sir.
Just out of curiosity, are you allowed to go inside and take these pictures?
The homeowner wanted me to come in and take pictures.
Oh, the homeowner wanted you
Yes,
to
sir.
come in?
Yes, sir.
I see, okay, that
Homeowner
clarifies
or
it.
tenant?
I believe homeowner. Thank you.
Okay.
Mike,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question? This
Yes,
is
sir.
a condo?
Yes.
Okay, good, I got you, okay.
Okay. And your recommendation was for 11/1/24
24.
or 150?
Apologize.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
Is that longer than the normal time that we request? Because that's like 5 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, the attorneys had asked a couple of times to have extensions on being able to get the stuff taken care of.
Right.
Couple of 20-day extensions.
And do you feel okay about that? Is that positive for you?
I've kind of taken over this case here. This was pretty close to about the time that I had started with the city. So the original photos were
I
actually,
mean, are you okay with that length of time?
with the length of time I am, yes, sir.
Yeah, the
Yes,
city's
sir.
okay with that?
Okay.
Any more questions for Inspector Nardi? No?
No,
Um,
I think we
if-
need declaration, do we?
Do we want to hear the other guy's side first? Yeah.
Uh,
If you'll have a seat, we'll bring
Yes, sir.
him up.
Thank you.
Sorry for that. It's just the way we kind of got to do it.
No, I understand. Sorry, I'm the one that breached protocol. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
We received this violation notice shortly after it was sent, I think the day after, on October 12th. In the next couple of months, it's October and November of 2023, we obtained proposals, the association did, from 4 engineering firms. In December of '23, They entered into a contract with Biller Reinhardt, who came and inspected the unit and recommended further inspections of some of the surrounding areas of the building. At that time, there was no warning given or determination made that the building was unsafe or anything of that nature, which is why we deny the unsafe aspect. But obviously, as you've seen in the pictures, there's clearly a need for repairs to take place around this window. In December of 2023 and into January of 24, Biller Reinhardt provided a couple of proposals. The association ultimately decided that they wanted to utilize a different contractor at that point. They contacted Able Builders, who came and also did an inspection of this unit, and like Biller Reinhardt, determined that further inspection of the exterior walls and around the window was necessary. And again, at that time, no indication from the contractor that the building was unsafe, notwithstanding the need for the repairs that needed to be made. Able recommended that the association engage water testing companies. We and our firm and the association, between the two of us, contacted 8 water testing companies. Some of those were water testing companies. Some of them declined to do the work just because of the situation of the building. It's a 5-story building with a garage underneath. So many of those were unable to do the work. We did get some estimates from some of the engineering companies that weren't within the association's budget, so they have obtained some additional estimates. Long story short, in the last couple of weeks, they've accepted a proposal from Hydroscout to come to do the water testing. Able has indicated, worst case scenario, if the entire exterior cladding of the building has to come out for repairs of plywood underneath, if it's broader than just around the window, it could be a 6-month period to completion. So I don't think that's too far outside of what the board is considering with November. I would hope that we could get it done as quickly as possible, but I just wanted to appear and convey the fact that the association's been working on this and has just encountered some issues that have led to the delay.
That's good. Thank you for coming and clearing us up on that.
I have a
and
question.
everything. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm assuming and gleaning from what you're telling us that the purpose of the engineering inspections and the contractor inspections are to determine what the source of the water intrusion is so that a repair plan can be effected?
Yes, Able advised, and they have an engineer in-house that's going to do any engineering work that needs to be done. But they've indicated to us that they need the water testing to figure out where the water entry sources are, and then the engineering can follow to determine what's the protocol for further inspection, destructive testing, and repair, and then that will proceed, and that whole process should hopefully take 6 months or so.
So when you say water testing, you mean leak detection?
Yeah, like using a water hose. I don't know if it's going to be scaffolding or a cherry picker that gets up there with some equipment to try and identify any and all sources of water intrusion, in addition to potentially right around the window itself. There's some indication, my understanding is, that the water may actually be coming from some other areas above the unit.
What floor is this unit on?
I think this one's on the bottom floor.
Second,
Okay.
Is
202,
it the second
he
floor?
said.
Okay.
Okay,
He said number 202, so
Okay.
Is that the
I would
second
assume
floor?
that would probably be second
Second
floor.
I think there's a garage underneath, you said? Okay.
Garage is the
Okay.
first
So
floor.
I guess this is the first inhabited
First living
floor.
space
Yeah.
Okay.
above the garage. So you have 3 floors above that?
Yes.
Okay.
So the time frame seems good. That's-
Yeah, the time frame seems good.
Yeah.
The city's okay with it and everything. So let's go ahead and get a first motion.
I move, okay. I move to find a respondent in violation of code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Have a
A
second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
And then I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before 11/1/2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's
You got
passed.
some time.
Thank you.
Yeah, so they'll have until like November, and then we'll see where you're at then.
Okay.
Okay,
Hopefully we'll
before-
be done by then.
Before
Thank
we
you
do
very much.
anything. All right, thanks for coming.
Now you jump onto it.
All righty, now we are,
4.4 is withdrawn, and so we are going to jump ahead to 4.14 on our agenda, case 89-24, find respondents Frederick Picard at 1032 North Missouri Avenue in violation of code for permits and issue an order of compliance with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? Are you here to speak on that? Yes. Okay. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Frederick Picard, and I'm the owner of the property, 1032 North Missouri Avenue.
Okay.
Please speak closer to the
Yeah,
mic
to the
so everybody
microphone.
can hear you.
Thanks.
Mr. Picard, do you admit or deny the violation?
Yes.
You admit the violation? Okay. If you'll have a seat right over there, we will get right back to you. Can I get a first motion, please?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. All right, now we will hear from the city. Ms. Espinoza.
Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon.
Be right with you.
My cell phone, I told everybody to turn theirs off.
Okay, so this is Nilda Espinoza housing inspector for the address at 1032 North Missouri, and this case 8924. One violation, permit required, work commencing before permit issuance. Notice of violation was sent back in February 7th of 2023, and again this year, April 10th, 2024. Compliance date, first time was February 28, 2023, and that just means come in and apply for a permit. And second time was April 30th, 2024. Certified mail, the first time was returned from the post office on March 27, 2023, and this time I got a signed green card on the 25th. Notice of hearing was sent on April 10th, 2024, and then returned back at certified mail on April 25th this year. Location is here. It's north of Palmetto Street, west of North MLK, Martin Luther King, east of North Batty, and south of Sunset Point. It's down by the stadium. Mr. Picard sent a letter to me. We received it May 9th, essentially saying that, and I did bullet points, he just returned back into the country in April. He's found an architect to procure the permits. He says he was unable to reach me by telephone. He may have my old phone number. My notice of violation does have the new phone numbers. And he said he's committed to resolving the violations. Okay. This is the house. You can see that structure in the back was a garage. 2005, someone took off, and he wasn't the owner at that time. Somebody took off the roof and the garage doors, and it's been like that all this time.
There's multiple units in this place?
It's a single-family home as far as I know.
I see the 2 meters there, is why I was asking.
Can't tell you. I wasn't in the building department at that time, so. This is the way it is now. They took off, go back. You can see that there's siding now. The windows are gone, and there's wood there. That arrow is pointing to a notice that was placed by Pinellas County Construction Licensing Board. They're the ones who contacted me and let me know the situation. The door is open. I couldn't go in further because there was no floor. All the joists were gone, fall right down into the ground. This is my posting. I had to go out there a second time because they were doing work again without a permit. Again, you can see inside and the wood along the side. That was photograph, you can see the front door. There was no front door before, and there is a floor now. That's the front again. I do not know what's under those tarps. I will not lift the tarps to look. It's not my place to look at it. That is a posting of the final notice of violation and notice of hearing.
Board, do you have any questions for
I do.
Ms. Espinoza?
I'm a little bit curious as to, there was an initial posting and a deadline, and then it's like it happened all over again. What occurred with the first one that created, or?
The owner travels between here and France. What he told me was that he bought the house for his daughter. He knew that permits are required. I gave him more time. I know how it is, having to deal with family and the traveling situation and that. Second time, I was called out again. They were doing work. I caught them in there doing work again. That's it. You're done.
Yeah. Is there, I'm just trying to understand why the first case didn't result in a hearing and coming before the board. Was that because he was out of town, or?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'm just curious.
It just, sometimes it takes a little bit, as you know, you're a contractor, sometimes it takes time to get the permits in there and there's the
Sure.
right stuff in, so.
Okay.
Now, did the county have any, you said there was a county notice and they're the ones that had got in contact with you. Are they like taking over any kind of like?
They go after unlicensed contractors.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, there was unlicensed contractors in
all
there.
right. Okay.
That's when they
That's where
they
came
call
in.
the city and let
Okay.
us know.
I didn't know if there was, like, they were,
They-
haven't had
well-
this case too.
They issue notices to appear. I believe they start at 250. The most is 2,000 for doing electrical work without a permit.
All right.
Right.
So that's the county is like a whole separate issue than what
That's,
you are.
that's
Yes.
the licensing board for
Okay.
contractor licensing. That's what they look at and regulate.
All right. All righty. Anybody else have any more questions for Inspector Espinoza? All right. If you have a seat, Inspector Espinoza,
Okay.
we'll bring you back up and Mr. Picard, if you'll come up to the podium, sir. Give us a little bit of an update on what's going on with your house here.
In fact, I bought this property in 2019, and I wasn't able to start working and renovate before because my finance were not good enough. And I started to clean up and hire some people to take, because that was full of trash. It was a really old property. And in fact, I wasn't really aware of it works in America, because in France you have to do a permit when you build something, not like if you do something inside. I wasn't aware of everything.
Yeah.
But it's true that I met the inspector once in the city urbanism of Clearwater, and I was trying to find an architect, and I've been looking to find an architect for months, and they were dishonest because they were proposing me, it's a small building, it's 1,600 square feet, and they were asking me to put the permit like 12, 14,000. It's ridiculous, because I've been doing that in France, and in France I would pay someone like 3,000, not 15 or 14,000 just to put permit, And finally I found someone, and I hired this person. That was end of April, and he was supposed to do it pretty fast, and unfortunately he got slower than expected, and he finished. I have the plans, and I can show you. I don't know how that works.
Can you flip it?
Yeah.
Oh, other way. Other way.
180 degrees.
Yeah. There you go.
So he worked on the plan, and everything should be in order, but he asked me to do it online, and I wasn't able to do it online. It didn't work because I just received that last night, so I tried really since last night.
Excuse me, you say when you do it online, you mean submit for the permit online? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
And it didn't work, so finally I came today. Anyway, I had to come here, And I went to the urbanist, and they told me you can't do it as a owner. You have to do with papers.
Yep.
So I wasn't
Hard
aware
copy.
of that. So I contact him, and he's supposed to send me all the plans on papers, and I would personally bring everything and to put everything in order as soon as possible.
So it's in the works, you're getting it all fixed back up to be a nice place again?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's the purpose.
Good deal. All right, well, thank you, sir. We will hear from Ms. Espinoza on her recommendations on what she'd like to do, and we'll get back to you at the end of
Excuse
it.
me, one question.
I'm sorry.
Time frame. What are you looking at as far as how long this is gonna take you?
Yeah.
Well, I think that as soon as I get, since my finance is good now, as soon as I get the permit, I should be able to finish this project in probably 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
But this was like falling apart. I realized, because I did the roof like 2 years ago.
It's pretty obvious that it needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
And,
3 to 6 months probably is.
and I realized after the roof, in fact, this property has an issue with termite.
Yeah.
And
All
we
Florida
discovered-
houses got wood, have an
we
issue with
discover a lot
dirt.
of issues. But
Okay, well,
I will
that's
be.
good that you're getting it all together and everything. So we will hear from Ms. Espinosa, and then we'll get right back to you. Thank you, Mr. Picard.
Thank you very much.
What's your recommendations, Inspector Espinosa?
Okay. Okay, as he said, he did come in this afternoon to try and apply for a permit. Can't do it. He has to be a contractor for online permitting. What the city is asking for, compliance by July 31st, or $150 per day. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city's attorney office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal and equitable recommendations under the law. And for compliance is to apply and obtain required permits.
Finish the works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should be able to get that.
Yeah, he can get that done, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Espinosa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we're just looking at him getting the permit
Yeah.
by the
By the end of
31st.
July.
Mr. Picard, you can get the permit by the 31st of July, yes?
oh, for sure, yeah.
For sure? Okay. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to enter this motion in, and as soon as you get the permit, she'll know that, and they'll let us know. So,
right.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, can I get a second motion?
I have one question.
Oh, okay, I'm
Did
sorry.
we already do this already?
Yeah.
He's obviously got drawings, and he's in a position now where he can take that downtown and submit for permit. If that permit is in the system and working and it's not issued by July 31st, is the door open for him to come back and
Oh, yes, for sure.
address the board?
For sure.
Okay, good.
Is that right, Kurt? He can, or is that no? After we,
She was talking.
if his permit, if he goes and it's not been, he doesn't have it physically in his hand by July 31st, but it's in the works, it's in the, in the system,
That would be-
that he applied, is
That
that?
would mean he had applied, yes, but it won't mean that he obtained.
He's obtained it?
Right.
Will he be able to come back, will we be able to come back and
Well, he
revisit
would come back either on an affidavit of compliance or an affidavit of non-compliance.
non-compliance?
Yeah. I mean, if he's working with the city's not going to.
Yeah, as long as you keep in contact with Inspector Espinosa and let her know what's going on, that'll keep us informed on what's happening, and we'll get everything settled up for you.
Well, welcome to America, bureaucracy.
Good luck in the Euro games.
All right, let's get a second motion on
I
this.
move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before July 31st, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation. For each day each violation continues to exist, the fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
A second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion approved. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled program. 4.5 on our agenda, case number 69-24, find respondents DHDD LLC at 131 Devon in violation of code for docks and seawalls and public nuisance condition, dock, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that case? No? All right, Inspector Casman, you have the floor.
All right. Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon.
Daniel Casman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 69-24 for 131 Devon Drive. Two violations here for Code Section 3-601, D1 and D2 for repairs of existing docks and seawalls, and Code Section 3-1503A, B1, and B9 for nuisance, public nuisance condition, or other nuisance condition. These are the dates the notice of violation was out with compliance date. Did get the certified mail receipt back. Had to post the property for today's hearing.
Nicole?
It's not coming up on our center screen. You have control.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's,
They're having all sorts.
we're all spinning our necks side to side up here. All right, thank you.
Want me to go back or just go on?
No, just
All
keep
right.
going.
You guys might remember this one. 131 Devon Drive came for exterior surfaces a few months back.
Yep.
But I got a call from the neighbor next door. This is the deck in the back. There's even other damage in the rear of the property to the exterior as well that couldn't be seen from before. This is the deck and the shape it's in. That's what the public nuisance condition is referring to. We don't necessarily have a code that refers specifically to this kind of structure. So this thing is kind of bowing in the middle. It's ripped up. Doesn't look like it has much support. Looks a little bit dangerous to me and kind of lowers the property values, in my opinion, of the surrounding area. But this was the dock. You see there's a few boards ripped up. There's a little bit of chipped and peeling paint, but what was a great concern of the owner next door was that pieces of it were starting to break off and float into the bay and specifically get caught against her dock. She's positioned a little bit westward from this property. So went back in April. The deck was in the same exact condition as it was before. The dock, still some issues with it, chipped and peeling paint, some damaged wood. It's somewhat hard to see. A few of the boards in the gangplank are ripping up. This is a kind of a closer shot. I'm taking these from the dock next door, the neighbor. This is a notice of hearing placed on the front door of the property. I went back. The neighbor next door is also concerned. I don't know if you can tell from this photo, but that pipe attached to that piece of wood, there's now another piece of wood broken off into the water and starting to float away. We don't know when that'll go.
It's like the railing's coming down too.
Yeah, the railing's not really good looking either. Yeah. So, the deck is in the same exact condition as well, bowed, doesn't look like it has many supports, ripping apart. So, compliance can be met for the dock and disrepair by restoring the full functionality of the dock by repairing the walkway, repainting where there's chip and peeling paint, and repairing any damaged or rotten wood. Otherwise, the owner can completely dismantle the dock down to the pylons, and that would be acceptable to the city. And for the deck, compliance is met for the deck and disrepair by repairing the deck to a functional state or dismantling the deck completely. So, requesting compliance on or before July 26, 2024, $550 per day per violation for each day the violation continues to exist.
It's two violations.
Board, do you have any questions for Inspector?
Yeah, I just have to make a comment on the dock. I'm a builder, I've always been one. I grew up on the water. We all know that occasionally there's some high winds in Pinellas County, and that dock doesn't look like it's going to stand much high winds or high waters and all that. And then all that wood's going to go into the intercoastal canal, intercoastal waterway, and cause a lot of problems with boaters. So I think it's a lot more serious than it just looks like just needing repair. It needs to be dismantled.
The other
All right.
option, I'll just say from a contractor, the other option is to get an engineer to look at it and determine the condition of it and then rebuild it, restore it properly.
Sure.
Because the pilings may be good, but the rest of it, who knows until
My
somebody.
point was to not have the wood flying around.
Agreed.
Yeah, so
Agreed.
I'll move to find the respondent in violation of code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
All
moved.
opposed? Motion approved.
I move to enter an order requiring this respondent to correct the violations on or before July 26, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by the date, a board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid for 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Excellent, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Inspector Casman.
You're going to be here for a while.
Oh, yeah, you are. Our next case is 4.6 on our agenda, case number 70-24, find respondents Royal Pines LLC at 801 North Fort Harrison Avenue in violation of code for exterior surfaces, abandoned building, and lot clearing, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and a fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on this? No?
I'd just like to add something. The lot clearing portion of this was withdrawn.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll
So it's just
strike
specifically
that
for the
from
exterior and the abandoned building.
All right, we'll strike that. And, all right, Inspector Casper, you have the floor.
All right. Hello again. Daniel Casman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 70-24 for 801 North Fort Harrison Avenue. There are two violations here for Code Section 3-1502B for exterior surfaces and Code Section 3-1503A, B1, B2, B3, and B9 for abandoned building. Abandoned building means a building or structure that is deserted by the owner or left unsecured or is not maintained. Evidence of desertion and lack of maintenance shall include but not be limited to unaddressed code violations, lack of required building permits or certificate of occupancy, lack of business tax receipt, and lack of active utilities. These are the dates the notice of violation was sent out with the compliance, and then the affidavit of posting. I guess they did get the notice for today's hearing. I have been in contact with the property manager for this property. You guys might know it yourself. This is 801 North Fort Harrison. It's right there at the corner of Seminole and North Fort Harrison. They did put a roof on it recently, but for the rest of the building, it ends up just being an active dump site. The landscaping wasn't being taken care of. The utilities were off. And you'll see how the exterior looks after they end up cutting all these plants away from the side of the building. And this is just showing the utilities have been off since July of 2020. So this was back in February, just the front of the building. They did cut back some of the plants because there was a lack of landscape maintenance, just allowing everything to grow wild. But it continued to be a dumping site for anybody and anyone. And then the exterior of the building, there was a lot of nastiness on the side, just need to clean up. And the utilities were still off. I was asking the realtor what was the ultimate goal here. Do you want this building occupied? Do you want it functional? She explained to me that apparently the electric has been knocked off in a previous storm, and the cost to restore the electric services at the property just wasn't in the budget or worth it to use the building. They have told me that this is in April, they have told me that they are planning to demo it. They did do a cut and cap on the sewer, and there is a demo permit being applied for right now. So if they want to demolish the building and then just upkeep the land that's left, that's fine. But in the meantime, that's got to happen before any of this goes away. So showing again, April, utilities are still off. This is my affidavit of posting after the certified mail receipt wasn't signed for. And this is going after the 10th of May. Same issues, the building, there's also one of the planters is pretty much broken up on the property too. But the rear looks the same. And the utilities were off. And then this was from 2 days ago, same condition. But if they do end up demoing it before the compliance date, it should be fine. So compliance met for the exterior surface by removal of all plant materials from the structures, repair of structural damage, repainting them where there's chipped and peeling paint, and mildew or algae. And compliance met for abandoned building by compliance with all existing code violations and by restoring the utilities or demolishing the structure. Requesting compliance on or before July 26th of 2024, or a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day the violations continue to exist.
Board, do we have any questions?
I do. You said the owner said that they've applied for a demo permit, or the realtor said?
The property manager.
Okay.
And they have, I think today at Acela, there was a pending demo permit.
I'm sorry, say that again?
In our Acela system that we
Okay.
use for the city, there was a pending demo permit.
That was my question.
So they'll, slowly but surely, maybe they'll come in.
But is it reasonable to think that it'll actually be demoed by the end of July? Like, I don't know.
I've seen houses be demoed with similar issues in my tenure here, and it's a lot easier to bring them down than it is to put them up.
Can I?
We put this on, fine on them, they're gonna move quicker.
Yep. I have a comment. Based on my experience, demo permits are fairly quick. They don't have to go through all of a lot of all of the various reviews and everything. It's
It's an EPA thing, and then it takes a little time, but yeah. Okay. Board, any more questions for Inspector Cashman?
No, I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion approved.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before July 26, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continue to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, motion approved. All righty, on to the next one, case 4.7 on our agenda, case number 71-24, find respondents, Brothers Way LLC Trey at 1770 North Fort Harrison in violation of code for exterior surfaces and issue an order with compliance deadline, and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that one? Will you please come up, sir? State your name and address for the record, please.
Yep, my name's Tim Fiorello, and it's 3031 Pine Forest Lane, Palm Harbor.
And you have permission to speak on the, for the Brothers
Yeah,
Way?
I have a written,
Okay,
if you want that, but.
all right. The clerk might want to see that. Do you admit or deny the violation?
Yes, we admit the violations, and we
Okay.
have, we have repaired some of them already.
Okay, if you'll have a seat real quick,
Yeah.
if you want to give that to our clerk,
Yeah.
and if you'll have a seat, we'll hear from the city, and then we'll call you back up. Thank you, sir. Inspector Cashman, you have the floor.
All right. Hello again, Board. Daniel Kasman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 71-24 for 1770 North Fort Harrison Avenue. There's one violation here for Code Section 3-1502B for exterior surfaces. There's a date the notice of violation was sent out with the compliance date, and I did get the certified mail receipt back. This is the Casa Linda Motel over on Fort Harrison. You guys have known it for over the years. It's just the sign out front. I had gone by the property because I noticed some issues in the rear. There's an alleyway that goes behind the building, and that's when I noticed this shed, I guess I would call it. It looks like it's constructed some fence and lattice. It was covered in a lot of vines and plants, but then in the back alley there was a lot of mildew, algae in the back, some rust on the awnings in the back as well. I went back in April and the same issue here, but then you notice if you look kind of in the middle to the left, there's some new wood being put up there at the top of the roof. And there'll be some more closer photos when I notice what's happening there as well. So there's some issues with the exterior there at the time. There's some rotting wood coming down from the roof, some things that have to be addressed. This is a better look of what's going on there. So it looks like they are actively trying to fix some things back there. This is just a better shot of the alley area. It still needs some work back there. And this area is a little bit more cleaned up, but the shed again is getting taken over by plants, and the next door neighbor's shed is getting taken over, but that's a separate issue I'm dealing with them on the property. So, and then this is just up front. It does look better down that alleyway. It is a little bit better. This is from looking from Fort Harrison, but any awnings in the property and any exterior walls still have to be cleaned. And they can't just let dirt or mildew or algae settle on them. So, compliance may for exterior surfaces by repairing any damage to the exterior and cleaning and repainting where necessary. This includes the awnings as well. And then request compliance on before July 26, 2024, or a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day the violations continue to exist.
All right, sir. All right, thank you, Inspector Cashman. Can I get a first motion, please?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
My second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. If you'll have a seat, I'll have you come back up, sir. Thank you. I'm sorry, it's just the way we got it, like, you know.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we acquired the building about a little over a year ago, so we bought it in an as-is condition, so we did know what we were getting into to a degree, but we have been spending a lot of time doing we had to do some major electrical upgrades that we weren't aware of when we purchased it. The plumbing was backing up, so we redid electrical, we've redone sewer. And I do have some pictures. I thought the main area that was out of compliance was this back area, which has been cleaned up. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, that's how the back alley looks now. We did demo some of that. We have demoed parts of that shed. But anyway, we're just going to continue cleaning the place up.
All right. Okay. Do you think that you will be able to come into compliance by July 26th?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's realistic.
Like I say, because we can extend that out a little bit and give you more time if you need.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a matter of cleaning up that shed area in the back at this point, so I think we
All
can do
right.
that.
Okay, sir, we'll take care of it, and thank you
Thank you.
for coming and getting the casa back to looking good again. I know where that is. I used to
All right.
live right down there.
Okay, nice.
It's right by the Flamingo, isn't
Yeah,
it? The
that's
big
right.
pink one?
That's right.
Yep, so, all righty, thank you,
Good luck
sir.
to you.
All right, thank you.
Good luck. All right, can I get a second
I
motion,
move to
please?
enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before July 26, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, on to 4.8 on our agenda, case number 72-24. Find respondents Arden Gayak at 1603 Sunset Drive in violation of code for fences and walls, exterior surfaces, and roof maintenance, and issue an order with a compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anybody here to speak on that?
I'm extremely hard of hearing.
Okay.
My name is Peter Gake. I'm Arden Gake's son.
Okay. Tell your name and address to our clerk, please.
1603 Sunset Drive. Peter Gake. I'm Arden's son.
All right, Mr. Gate, are you admitting or denying the violation?
I'm not denying it at all.
So you're admitting it?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
All
got
right.
pictures.
Okay. Well, you wouldn't believe, a lot of people are,
got pictures.
even though they got pictures, they still, no, we deny it. But if you'll have a seat over there, I'll hear from the city, and then I'll bring you back up. Thank you, sir. Inspector Casman, you have the floor.
Daniel Casman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 72-24 for 1603 Sunset Drive. There are 3 violations here for Code Section 3-1502B for exterior, Code Section 3-1502D1 for roof maintenance, and Code Section 3-808 1 through 6 for fence maintenance. This day's notice violation was sent out with compliance date to get the certified mail receipt. I have been in contact with Peter for the past few months, but we're kind of stalling on what has to happen here, though there's a few extraneous factors, and maybe he'll explain once it's his time to come up. So this is 1603 Sunset Avenue. Again, along that area along Osceola and Sunset, there's an alleyway that goes behind these buildings. When we went back there, noticed the fence was a little bit damaged, a bunch of vines growing over the garage, and if you look up in that corner, though there's going to be a better photo of it, the roof is partially collapsed and damaged back there in the top right. This is a closer photo of it up there. So this is a closer photo of the fence. There's a few chunks missing out of it, a few panels damaged, was falling over. And additionally, the building needs a bit of a cleaning. There's a bunch of vines and plants growing on the side of the structure up there, getting up in the soffit very high up, and a little bit of chipped and peeling paint on the fascia and soffits up there. This was back in March after the initial compliance date. I went back, there's the fence, still missing a few fence panels, a little bit beat up. Just looked at the garage on that one side, still some vines. Over here, some of the fence has been restored, but there's still a chunk missing and still some damage to the fence. And that area is still damaged. And this is a better look of all those vines and how they're taking over part of the structure, and the structure needs some cleaning over there. There's a bit of here and there with cleaning, minor damages to soffit fasciates all over the building, but that's the area where it's the greatest in the back. This was in May. You ended up putting a little tarp there, at least prevent some water damage from getting in the back there. And this is on the 24th. A lot of it's in the same state as it was previously. That fence panel needs to be replaced. It can't just have a big old hole right there in the bottom.
Like a doggy door.
And the same issue with the plants growing on the side of the building and same dinginess. That's just a little bit more of what I'm talking about. There's minor little damages all over the building. So compliance met for the exterior surface by remove all plant materials from the structure, repair of structural damage, repainting where there's chipped and peeling paint and mildew and algae, Plan submitted for the roof maintenance by repairing any damage to the roof and repainting a fascia where is necessary. Plan submitted for the fence maintenance by repairing, replacing any damaged fence paneling, ensuring fence is upright, fence can be completely removed for compliance as well. And requesting plans not before July 26, 2024, or a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day the violations continue to exist.
Hey, Board, do you have any questions for Inspector Cashman?
Yes, one. I believe you said you've been in contact with the owner?
I've been in contact with Peter. He might explain a few issues, what's going on with the property when it's his turn to speak, but I
Okay.
want to speak for him.
Right, okay.
All right. Mr. Cashman, thank you. Can I get a first motion, please?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
A second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion approved. Mr. Gay, will you come forward? All right, did you hear what
No.
Cashman said? You had a lot of stuff going on with the roof and the fascia and vines and stuff on the back. Are you going to be able to get that taken off, come into compliance by July 26th?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
My mother suffered, she's 94 years old, she suffered a heart attack, she's been to hospice twice.
Yeah.
She owns the house, I don't. I have friends who are roofers and stuff that have offered to help, but.
Are you kind of taking over like
Well, right now, we're trying to get legal things taken care of so I can take care of it.
I understand how that
And
is.
she wants to give me the house anyway. She wants to will it to me. But we have to update her will,
Okay.
which we're waiting for an attorney to respond to that right now, but I need more than that, I think. I think I need power of attorney.
Yeah.
She's 94 and she's in a rehab facility right now in Safety Harbor.
Okay. Still, do you think that by the 26th of July, you'll be able to get this?
I don't know if I'll be able to take care of everything.
Yeah.
I stopped, he saw the tarp that I put over and stuff, and I stopped at that point. The fence that was repaired, I don't know if you saw the tree that was sticking out there, that's why the bottom was cut out.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled the trunk out,
Oh.
and apparently I can't leave the fence like that.
No, kids can get in and,
Pardon me?
kids can get in or whatever and, possibly get hurt on your property. So
Oh.
that's why we have our fence the way our
Well, if I
our
take the
fences
whole
are
fence down, kids can go right through.
Well, then you could, that's your option. You can do that,
Well, so what difference does it make if it's cut at the bottom?
I don't know. I didn't make the codes. We're just here to take care of them. So, well, I mean, I'm asking you this question, if you'll be able to have it done by the 26th, or we can give you more time, to get this
That's what I'm
done.
here for, is asking for more time.
Is that what you want to have more time to try to get into compliance? How much more time do you think you'll need? Do you, you need
I
us
have
to move?
no idea how
Well,
far
you have to
the
give us something.
legalities.
We can't just leave this open-ended. So you'll have to,
Can I just come back for a continuation with an update?
Set it at
Something
60
like
days.
that?
If you're working with the city, they'll keep us updated, won't they? I mean,
Andy?
that's what- yeah.
Well, we can put it formally on for an update if you want.
Yeah.
The city will tell us what's going on.
Let's do an update in 30 days.
okay. What we're going to do is we're going to have you come back in 30 days at our next meeting and give us an update on what you've got, what's going on with the property and everything.
Yep.
And then we'll go from there, okay?
Okay.
So how would we put that?
We'll just put it on,
Motion to continue?
A
yeah,
motion.
We'll add it on there.
Inspector
We've already
Cashman?
found the first
I'm sorry.
violation.
If the board doesn't mind, and I don't mean to interrupt anybody, we have no problem with giving them 30 or 60 additional days
Okay.
to try to come to compliance. Rather than have to drag them back out here every 30 days, I'm okay with, again, an additional 30 or 60 days to come to compliance.
Why don't we do 60 days? and-
Okay.
and if he's
Something like
making-
July or, August.
If he's making progress, he's gonna keep in touch with.
Okay.
compliance.
You can
Okay.
do that.
Second? Yeah, continue to August.
August, let's see, our meeting in August is on, let's see, hold on. It is August the 28th. So what we'll do is we'll move the compliance date up to August the 28th. Does that sound good,
Yep.
Board?
Yep.
Okay, can I have a motion for that?
Make a motion to continue to August 28th for an update?
No, we'll do a second motion, and we'll just move the date from the 26th of July up to August
Make a full
28th.
motion, okay.
Yes.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violation to honor before August 28, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day for each violation continues to exist. If the fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, motion approved. Mr. Gagg, you'll have until the 28th of August, and then keep in touch with Inspector Kasman, and he'll let us know what's going on, okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day. Okay, next on our agenda is going to be 4.10, case 74-24, find respondents Jamie Marino and Michael Marino at 1930 Ripon Drive in violation of code for exterior storage, and issue an order with a compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that case? No? Okay, Inspector Jensen, you have the floor.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. Dave Jensen with the City of Clearwater Code Compliance Office. This is for 1930 Ripon, case number 74-24. There's going to be one violation for exterior storage, outdoor use. These are the dates for the notice of violation. There are a couple started back in March of this year with one notification, and then another notification a couple months later. I did speak to the homeowner a couple different times in person, once on 4/22 about this matter. Registered mail was returned undelivered, and the final compliance date was 5/20 of this year. This is the property shown. This was actually a complaint filed by a citizen in regards to what you see over here, the gas cans and some other stuff sitting almost on the property line. This is back in March. Closer view of it, a 5-gallon bucket. This black item right here next to the tree is an oil change container where you would dump your oil into it while you're changing it. It seals up to transport it somewhere, setting out. The person that called in the complaint did say that some of the cans were partially full, some empty. I don't know if it was gas or what it was, however, they don't belong outside again, bucket sitting there. On the 17th of May, the property was posted. I do keep an eye on my postings to see if they've been removed or anything else, to see if people actually acknowledge the fact they got the posting. This one was pulled out of the ground, thrown into the gutter at one point. I pounded it back into the ground that same day, and again, a couple days later, it was gone. So, again, having spoken to the property owners, they are aware of the situation. I spoke to the female at the property. She stated the reason that they're not putting the gas can, in the backyard or anything is because they have a small child that will get into them. I did explain to her they have to be put away somewhere, as well as the oil bucket and some other things that are sitting out there. Again, this is the property on 4/22. On 5/21, after the posting, they did move them up next to the house. This is the garage area, 5-gallon buckets. There's some 1- and 2-gallon lubricant containers that have been sitting out here as well that still have not been taken care of. Just another view of the same thing. This was an updated photo from just this past Monday. The buckets are gone, however, the lubricant containers and the gas cans are still sitting out here against the building. And again, from today, the same thing, nothing has changed. There were 2 prior complaints back in March and September of 2022 with the same property owners for the same thing. Some of the pictures from that case, it looks like it's the same gas can sitting out in the yard there. So compliance will be met by just removing the gas cans, lubricant containers, the waste container, the buckets from the exterior yard area, asking for compliance on or before 7/10/24, or a fine of $150 per day for each day that the violation exists.
All right. Boy, do we have any questions?
Yeah, I have one, Mr. Jefferson. I'm just curious, did the owners say anything why they're keeping so many gas cans?
It has a matter that we believe they repair boats at the address.
Okay.
However, that activity, since I spoke to them about it a couple different times, has ceased from what I've seen. So But that is, and again, they have a couple boats themselves. It looks like this, they're probably using them for something, but again, they just need
It's
to put it in place.
unusual to keep that many.
It is an awful lot. It's a lot of fuel, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Any more questions? No?
So there's a city regulation that says you can't keep a gas can outside on the yard or what?
Yeah, you can't store anything that needs to be stored inside, even if it's something, and that's why I have it under the outdoor use as well. The buckets, the lubricant containers, you really don't use those outside. Yeah, gas cans, you obviously take them outside to fill a mower, fill a boat, whatever you're doing, but then they have to be stored back inside, so.
Yeah, I agree, it's unsightly, and it looks like the neighbors are thumbing their nose at the neighbors and the city as well.
Exactly, yeah. It wasn't enough just to move them off that
We can
property.
solve that
so.
problem.
Any more questions, board? No? All right, can I get a first motion, please?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Now I get a second motion.
What's the date you wanted, July?
7/10.
10. I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violation on or before July 10th, 2024. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation. For each day each violation continues to exist, the fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion approved. All right, next case is 4.11 on our agenda, case number 75-24. Find respondents Gomez Pro Investments LLC at 1505 Laura Street in violation of code for short-term rental, and issue an order with a compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that case? No? Well, let me get a first motion then.
We're seeking a declaration of violation.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we are done with our new business items, I believe, and we are going to get to 5.1 on our agenda. Old business, continued from May 22nd, 2024, case 19-17. Consider request by petitioner 619 Woodlawn Street Land Trust at 619 Woodlawn Street to reduce the fine, RE inoperative vehicle, grass parking, roof maintenance, exterior storage, and if approved, issue an order that specifies a fine that includes administrative costs and establishes a date payable, or the lien will revert to its original amount. Is
Board?
there anyone here to speak?
Excuse me if I can, before you call up the property owners, Rebecca, City of Clearwater, Code Manager, just wanted to refresh your memory. This was heard last month and it was pushed because there was some outstanding code issues on the property that they wish to get corrected prior to you guys hearing the lien reduction request. Just wanted to provide an update that they have complied with our inspections. We've gone out and the property is in compliance as of today.
All right, okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mulder.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
Don't we normally see a lien reduction request form or something, or is it not
Yes,
applicable
and
here?
My apologies, I did not print out new ones for this board meeting, but I
Okay.
do have a few of the copies from the last meeting that were in the books.
Okay.
Do you want me to put them on the?
Yeah, the monitor's probably good.
on the monitor?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see what we're dealing with. I kind of remember it, but I
Yeah.
don't remember all of it. And I, no. I've been before.
So this was the request.
Can we have a copy that we can see, or a couple of them that we can?
Yeah, you can go ahead. I can read this one. Yeah, I can see this one. I can see good enough. It's not too close to my face. Okay, it's 68,400. What's the administrative on this one?
The administrative on this
that's
is
right.
$1,547.12
Say that again?
$1,547.20.
1547.20.
And what are the total?
It looks like its current lien amount is 68,400
That is correct.
is what the current is.
Okay, the management company.
Hi.
where they're-
Hi, how are you?
Hello, board.
If you want to state your name and
Yep.
address for the record, please.
My name is Pauline Armas, 31081 US 19 North, Palm Harbor. And this is Nicole Fernandez, same address. We work both for the trustee. I came last month, so thank you for confirming. Nicole worked very hard with the inspector, Youssef Toure.
Yeah.
So we got an email Monday confirming that everything has been in compliance. So we're just asking you if we can pay the administrative fees. We are ready to pay today if you approve it for us.
I can't see, when was this, when did this originally start incurring liens? What date was that?
May?
May?
No, it has to be longer than that.
It's got to be
because-
a year or so or to make
Yeah,
$68,000.
64,000, I mean, that's,
I'm looking with this is stuff.
affidavit of noncompliance, 3/22/17, so it's been going on a while.
Oh, for 7 years.
Yes, so the trustee of the property, at the time, they had another management company, and unfortunately, they never mentioned that they have received a violation. So they find out about it.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
so we found
That's
out
right.
about it about end of last year, and we decided, Nicole and I, to work on that to try to
You
clear
got
the
rid of that
property.
management company, yes.
That's right.
I remember now.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, board, do you have any questions? I mean,
only question I have is whether or not the city has a opinion or recommendation.
Yeah, do you guys?
The original violation date goes back to.
Rebecca, Code Compliance Manager. We don't have a strong opinion either way, whichever the board decides. We also don't object to the administrative fees. They worked closely with us. They're a new property management company that were unaware, and they worked quickly to resolve the issues that we identified.
Okay, well, that's.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Is there,
Seems
board, are you
appropriate.
okay with administrative on this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I move to enter an order reducing the amount of fine to administration cost of $1,547.20 payable within 30 days, or the lien will revert to the original amount.
Thank you very much. Really
Before you
appreciate it.
take the
Thank you.
vote, I believe you have public comment.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, ma'am, if you'll move over and. State your name and address for the record,
Bill
please.
Johnson, 2694 Redford Court West. The thing that I'm hearing is that the notices went to their property management company instead of to the property owner, and this has been going on since 2017. So I'm kind of wondering how the
The way I
legality of the notices was here.
The way I understand it is that they just found out about the violations from that management company after it had already accrued a huge fine, and they got rid of that management company and got new management company to look after the place. And since then, there had been some code violations that they had remedied, that they had found that they had remedied. Am I getting that right? They got everything taken care of that
I don't
was.
think we should be
Yes.
even going over that. I mean,
We're just trying to answer his question.
The,
Yeah, I know.
Coming, ladies.
No, I'm just kidding. Completely kidding. All right, now we are on to other board action. Accept the affidavits of compliance for 5.1.1 on our agenda, 5.1.2 on our agenda, 5.1.3 on our agenda, 5.1.4 on our agenda, 5.1.5 on our agenda, 5.1.6 on our agenda, 5.1.7 on our agenda, 5.1.8 on our agenda, and 5.1.9 on our agenda. Can I get a motion for affidavit of compliance for these?
I move to accept the affidavits of compliance as listed.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. All right, now let's go on to 6.2, case number 128-23. Accept the affidavit of noncompliance for respondents Veracity LLC at 1234 Eldridge Street for exterior services and abandoned building. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? Inspector Dixon, you have the floor.
Afternoon, Board. Craig Dixon, Code Compliance Inspector, City of Clearwater. This is case 128-23 for 1234 Eldridge Street. This was found in violation on November 30th. At the time of the hearing, a representative showed up at that time. I hadn't had any contact with them. And for about the next month or so, there was some repairs being done to the building, and he was in contact with me mowing the yard. Now I can't get in hold of anybody, and I've had to start cutting the yard again. So the property looked like this at the time of violation. And now here's some property.
Fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien notified. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Inspector Dixon. 6.3 on our agenda is continued until July 24th. 6.4 on our agenda is case 13-24. Accept the affidavit of noncompliance for respondents DHDD LLC at 131 Devon Drive for exterior services. Inspector, is anyone here to speak on that? No. Inspector Cashman, you have the floor.
Well, you just saw this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is this deja vu? What's going on?
Different violation.
I got a few extra photos at the end of the slideshow I didn't show you, but.
Saving the best for last.
So this was our last page, but these were some of the issues previously on the exterior where there was just rotten wood he just painted over. They had a little electric box is still hanging out of the wall there. This is in the front alcove of the building, and I'll go in the back again too. You know, a bunch of just rotten boards up there, dinginess on them, and the same damage to these areas too. And then when you go backwards to when we were looking at the dock and the deck, there was even more damage to the back where you can see there's missing trim around the doors, the sliding doors in the back, and there's still rotten wood and waterlogged wood back there. Let me see if I can get another one. Yeah, that was pretty much it. So nothing's changed for the exterior, and now there's these additional issues with the deck and the dock at the property. So I'd ask that you just accept the affidavit of noncompliance.
Okay, any questions, board?
I move to accept the affidavit of noncompliance and issue an order that imposes fines and fees and states that fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. All right, case 6.5 on our agenda, case 16-24. Accept the affidavit of noncompliance for respondents Nina Boykin at 910 Ingman Street for abandoned building. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? Inspector Dixon, you have the floor.
Afternoon, Board. Inspector Dixon, Code Compliance Inspector, City of Clearwater, case 16-24. I'll run you some pictures so you can remember what the property looked like. You heard this in February. They had until May to come into compliance. There's an abandoned building, it hasn't been lived in a couple years. There were some trailers on the property, some dumping.
Yep.
Hasn't had water since July of 2020. So the property's basically in the same state, except all the debris's been cleaned up, the trailers are gone. The family did a law firm contacted me. They intended to buy the property, but they found out that some of the people on the deed had passed away. So there's going to be some probate action that has to happen, and it's going to be a few months. So we just ask that you accept the affidavit of noncompliance, and if the firm takes control of the property and brings it into compliance, they can ask for a lien reduction.
Okay. Board, do you have any questions?
No. I move to accept an affidavit of noncompliance and issue an order that imposes fines and fees and states that fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, 6.6 on our agenda, case 18-20, accept the affidavits of non-compliance for respondents Gilbert Janelli at 1871 Douglas Avenue for exterior surfaces and abandoned building. Is there anyone here to speak on that? Sir, if you'll come up forward, please. State your name and address for the record.
Joel Truehaft, 2559 Nursery Road, Suite A, Clearwater, Florida.
All right, and you are a representative for
For
Mr. Janelli?
Cabin Holdings LLC, the new owner of the property. I'm a leasing consultant.
So were you sworn in?
Yes, yes.
Okay, is it,
There's no denial of this one.
huh? Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, are we, is the new LLC, is that, this is Gilbert Janelli. The new LLC is different.
Mr. Chair, if I may speak to that, we, when this came before you, when this was originally noticed, and then when the board found the property to be in violation, Mr. Janelli was the owner of the property, so his name is on the order. Because it was cited for an abandoned building, one of the things that the board said that could bring it into compliance would be to sell the property. If you look at the definition of an abandoned building, buying or selling the property isn't in the code as far as what would make something abandoned or not. And so when I was asked whether or not selling the property would bring it into compliance, my advice to the staff was to bring that to the board, that selling the property would be just another factor to consider for the board to determine whether or not it was an abandoned building, but the code makes abandoned buildings the code violation. So the fact that the board included our staff recommendation of selling the building, to me, just indicated that that would be a factor that the board would consider in determining whether or not the building was still in fact abandoned. The other point to note is that there's nothing in the statute that requires us to cite the property owner. And the fact that their order was already rendered in someone's name and the hearing already occurred, and at this point, it was just a deadline that was going to be at issue. I don't see any legal obligation for the city to dismiss the case and start over and open a new case against the new owner when we've already got an order rendered and a case pending. So I did ask that they make sure that the new owners were informed of all of this, because ultimately they should have been informed what they were getting into when they purchased the property, because that's required by law as well. If they weren't, that's an issue between those two private parties, but from the city's obligation, we're just trying to get compliance on the property, and whether we hold the previous owner responsible or the current owner, I didn't think that we had any legal obligation to dismiss the case. So that's why it's back in front of you, and we would ask that you allow the new owner to be heard if they request to be heard, because they do obviously have an interest in the outcome today.
All right. All righty, sir, go ahead. What you want to bring to us?
We recently acquired the property. I was engaged shortly, less than 2 weeks ago. And we are actively moving to lease the property. In fact, we are in negotiations to put a laundromat in the property and hope to be able to complete those negotiations shortly and start pulling permits and building out. What we would request is a short continuance, 45 or 60 days, to allow us to complete the negotiations, to pull the permits and to build out the property, and then revisit the issue at that time to show that we are serious about bringing this property into compliance.
I don't know that we're...
Well, I will say that, we were just trying to keep this moving forward.
Yeah.
So there was already a delay on our side where we waited to file the affidavit to try to allow this to play out. That eventually was taking longer than what we normally allow when we do give a little bit of grace period for those deadlines. So we just brought the issue back to the board. But the board has in the past delayed the acceptance of the affidavit to accommodate these kinds of requests. That's not something that staff supports, and we want you to go ahead and move the case forward and put people under deadlines that incentivize them to bring the properties into compliance. But if the board delayed the acceptance of this and then they did bring it into compliance, we would withdraw the affidavit, and that would close the case without any fines. If the board delayed this and they were not able to come into compliance, and we came back next month and they were still in violation, and you accepted the affidavit at that time, the fines would run from, it would not change the date from which the fines run.
Yeah.
Unless you vacated the order, which the city would object to you doing that, but.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Counselor. Board, what are your recommendations on this?
30 days to move forward to bring it in.
Yeah, I mean,
If the end goal is,
You
if
got
the end
two
goal
orders
is,
in your tribe.
sorry, if the end goal is, if our product is getting compliance, then, and we have indications that there's a significant change of condition where it appears that compliance may occur now, then what's the harm in 30 days?
I agree with the esteemed board member.
I don't have a problem with that.
My only
So-
question is 30 days, then enough time for the new owner? I don't know.
Well, we could get an update.
Is it 30 days enough?
Well, we hope to. We've been in negotiations now for over a week. I'm hoping
30
that
days is good.
Yeah, let's go
No,
with 30 days.
progress, I mean, at least a progress report, and revisit to say, okay, we're doing this and submit a permit or whatever's occurring.
So what we're doing is
See a
delaying
change
the
of condition.
acceptance of the affidavit for 30 or 60 days.
You're just putting it on your next
The
agenda.
Yeah.
next agenda.
Sure.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Somebody want to make a motion for that?
Wait, does you want to speak?
Janelli would like to say something.
Oh.
If that's all right.
He hasn't been sworn in. Well, who are we talking to? The person who owns the property or the person who used to own the
It was
property?
like, as I've
That's the
stated
new
before,
owner that
that-
we just talked to.
Right, so
So this
then I
is
don't
the
thi-
old owner that
Okay, I-
that had.
The violation
Did you get
is in
sworn in,
his
Mr. Janelli?
I did.
You did? Okay.
But well,
We did not
Chairman.
amend the named party in the case, so the order was rendered against Mr. Janelli, and we have not requested to change that. We did request that Mr. Janelli provide us with the disclosure documentation, because the law requires, if you have a property that's pending code enforcement proceedings and you sell that property, you're required by law to give all the paperwork that the city has given you on the notice of violation to the buyer, so that they know what they're stepping into. We asked for that, and for our perspective, it was to see if we felt like the buyer was fully informed and such that we could essentially convert the case from Mr. Janelli into their name and keep it on track without having to start it over. We ultimately decided that we didn't want to do that, and we just left the case in Mr. Janelli's name.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense.
That's why I brought it up at first when he said
Okay.
he was, you know,
what makes sense
representing an
to me is
LLC.
that it seems there's a general consideration to kind of stall this for 30 days, correct? That was-
Right,
That is,
but
yeah.
Yeah.
if
So
the
I don't-
case,
You're aware of that, Mr. Janelli. We're talking about stalling it for another 30 days. I mean, the chairman will let you speak if he wants, but
Well, yes, Gilbert Janelli, 909 South Fort Harrison, Clearwater. We made the new owners aware, and the code has a copy of what we sent to the new owners. And I do have an email from Mr. Dixon that said that they would give the new owners an extended period of time to be able to come into compliance. What's happening, and the reason I'm helping the new owners is because of the situation. So otherwise, I would be gone. And so the laundromat people that they're talking to is a franchisee, and they're going through all the motions with the franchisee to accept the site. They like everything so far is positive. The problem is getting plans, drawn plans and engineer sealed and getting permits in 30 days. I'm not so sure that that's going to be possible. I don't see, it may or may not, you know.
well, then I don't, just my thinking on this was that it's not so much a permit issued in 30 days as to see a change of condition more than anything, like things are progressing.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
I don't
like
have
an
any problem.
update.
It's going to progress. We're just trying to bring this to a closure. Believe me, it's,
we're the board's trying to work with them.
Yeah.
At least I think we are.
Yeah.
Is that-
Yeah.
We're just going to extend 30 days out for the,
Yeah.
Sure.
Get an update.
to either accept or not accept the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Somebody do it.
Can we, in our
Well,
motion, are we requesting an update, that they come back and we continue it to then, and they can come back and let us know what?
Well, they're either going to provide us
Yeah.
the affidavit of noncompliance or tell us that they wanted an extension, meaning
Thank you.
the city's okay with it. That's what you'll do.
So we'll vote on the
Thank you.
non-compliance 30 days from now.
Let's hear from, thank you, Mr. Janelle. Let's hear from
Yeah.
Inspector.
And incidentally, Mr. Dixon's been wonderful with this situation, and we've been working with him, and we appreciate his courtesies and what the city has done as well.
That's what we like to do. We like to work with our citizens and try to make it as
Trust me,
smooth as
we're not
possible.
trying to avoid the situation. We're trying to get this out of my graying hair.
Maybe the color will come back maybe a little bit.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Inspector Dixon, did you want to add to anything?
The only thing I'd have to say is, if nothing changes in 30 days and I come back and tell you everything's the same, the fines are gonna start from the same day. So I'm hopeful that,
That's fine.
you know,
Okay.
somebody moves in there, some permits get pulled and stuff happens.
Yeah.
Well,
And go. And
we'll
go.
give them the extra 30 days and we'll see what happens. We'll roll the dice on them.
I have a confusion to clear.
Okay.
If we order compliance within 30 days, and are we ordering
Well, we already
compliance?
did that.
Yeah,
You
we
cannot
already-
order
We're kicking it down,
compliance.
so kicking it
Yeah.
down.
You're
You're gonna
Oh,
accept an
I got
affidavit
you.
of
We're not
non-compliance.
going to accept the affidavit for 30 more days. Is what
We're
we're going to
kicking it
do.
down the road.
Yeah, we're kicking it down the
I'm
road.
gonna take that esteemed away from you if you ask questions like that again.
Okay.
Just trying to understand.
I make a motion to have this on the next agenda,
Not
next
accept.
month's agenda.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Everyone understand that? All right, can I have a second on that?
second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries to extend the acceptance of non-compliance out until next month meeting. Right? Okay. All right, now we are to nuisance abatement lien filings. Case number 7.1 on our agenda, case 82-24. Accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondents Rad Diversified RIT Inc. at 1108 Spencer Avenue for lot clearing and issue an order with compliance deadline and authorize the city to mitigate the violation if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that one? Nope. Mr. Jensen, you have the floor.
Hello again, Dave Jensen, City of Clearwater Code Compliance. This is for 1108 Spencer, case number 82-24. It's going to be one violation for 4 different sections of the overgrowth and nuisance ordinance. Accumulation of nuisances, overgrowth on the 2 right-of-way violations, which you'll see here in the pictures. Notice of violation and compliance date. The owners of this Rad Diversified did receive the mail, did get a signed return receipt from them. I have spoken with a couple different representatives of Rad Diversified over the months, over the last year. I've been dealing with this property since, I believe it was early August of last year. This property at one point was so overgrown that you could not physically see the building at all from the roadway. They did come in and do one cleanup, clear everything out. It was about a 2-day process because everything was so overgrown. At one point, we were going to come before you with a roof case, and just in the nick of time, they got that taken care of. However, there's been nothing else done with the property since. I spoke with a subject that identified himself as the property manager or maintenance person that's responsible for their properties in this area, and at some point stopped having communications with him. He would not return my calls, emails, etc. I had spoken to a woman in her main office. She has spurned a couple things at the property, such as the roof. However, again, no activity as far as cleanup. We'll get further into that conversation here in a few minutes. So that was the front of the house. This is a sidewalk right here. So this is the parkway between the road and the sidewalk. Actually begins right there where that tall grass kind of stops. And then there's a fence with some overgrowth. You can see there's a tree limb across the sidewalk. This is that same sidewalk from another angle. It's completely impassable. Again, the overgrowth out in the parkway. This is a really hard picture to get at any time because there's so much foliage and overgrowth that it's just constantly shadowed and hard to get a picture of. But this overgrowth here is now approaching almost 2 feet tall because of the rainy season having started. Posting of the property, you can see the posting still there. Property continues to grow and get taller every day, especially now we're hitting the grow season with the rains coming. This is that same piece of sidewalk back on the 7th of this month. Still no change in the property. Even after a couple of conversations with RAD's representative, She stated at one point, she was told by the work crew that they had gone out and cleaned up the property. I sent her pictures showing that they obviously had not. She apologized for the fact it's not being taken care of, and a couple weeks ago told me that she would have a crew out and get it taken care of. Nothing's happened in the 2 weeks since that conversation, so.
Is there anybody in that house?
What's that?
Does somebody live in the house?
No, this is a property that was bought. RAD is an investment company. They buy properties, and basically the return on the investment that you give them is whatever money they make off these properties is apparently how that works. Yeah, they bought this property a couple of years ago. It was in poor condition then when they bought it. The guy I did talk to from from RAD did state that they have a few of these properties that they had an employee that was overpaying for them, and this is one of those, and so they're kind of stuck with it. In the one conversation, he did say that they were going to decide, because of termite infestation, whether they were going to do the roof or just cut their losses and demo the building. My assumption, since they did a complete roof over, is they're not going to demo the property, but again, I haven't been able to get any more contact from him as to what they're going to do. So this is a picture Monday of this week, and then today, this is that chunk of sidewalk over here at the front of the house. Again, when I started with this property, the overgrowth, I mean, was just out to here. You could see a sliver of the driveway, and that was about it. So again, after their initial cleanup, some progress, but now again, we've stalled and nothing's getting done. It's getting to the point where we're gonna have to get that property cleaned up.
Okay.
So.
We'll get that done for you.
Compliance will be met by mowing, edging grass, trim the trees, the plantings, clear the sidewalks, the right-of-ways of all obstructions, overgrowth, any trash and debris that comes onto the parcel, and maintain the property in compliance with our ordinances. I'm requesting compliance 5 days after the board renders its order.
Any questions, board? No? Can I get them?
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with a reasonable cost which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months or after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion approved. All right, next 7.2 on our agenda, 83-24, accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondents Robin Farley at 1506 South Hillcrest Avenue for lot clearing and issue an order with the compliance deadline and authorize the city to mitigate the violation if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? Inspector Jensen, do you have a
So
floor?
we're good, still. This is for 1506 Hillcrest, case 83-24. It's just one violation for overgrowth. Dates for the mailings and postings on delivered as far as the certified mail. This is a property, when I first looked at it back on the 21st of last month, there was an in-out vehicle that was removed from the property. The vehicle and the property were both posted with separate notices. Someone did remove the notice that was on the windshield of the vehicle, and then a couple days later, that vehicle was gone and it has not returned. The posting that was placed on the property, staked into the ground, was removed at some point as well. This is part of the front lawn. You can see how overgrown it was about a month ago. Same thing on the side here. A little better picture of the posting. This is a week later when I checked on the property. The vehicle is still there. Nothing had been done. And this is just this past Monday. You can see the vehicle now is gone. However, the property still has not been mowed in the month, in a few days since the violation first started. Went back out there this morning and the property is still in the same condition. So compliance we met with, again, mowing, trimming the grass, overgrowth on the property, and then maintaining it in compliance with the city ordinance. And I'm asking for compliance within 5 days of the board rendering its order.
All right. Any questions, board? Nope.
I move to enter order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry into the property to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with a reasonable cost, which will become a lien on the property. If the costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Dave, appreciate you using the cursor. It really helps to focus better.
All right. Next on our agenda is 7.3, case 84-24, accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondents Christine Dorcelis at 214 South Highland Avenue for lot clearing and issue an order with the compliance deadline, authorize the city to mitigate the violation of compliance that's not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? Inspector Stevens, you have the floor.
I would if I saw it on here. One second.
Inspector Stevens, we want pretty pictures, big writing.
I did not see it on here, and I know I uploaded it to here. Make sure I didn't upload it to the wrong file. Excuse me one second.
I'd be up there for days trying to find stuff. Never
It's
find it.
good thing you're not out there then.
Good,
Yeah, good
right.
thing you're not an
Friday.
inspector.
You have my empathy.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where it went, 'cause I know I uploaded it. I did them both at the same time. I know I uploaded it to the, back one. Where did it go? Because I uploaded them both at the same time.
Oh, man. Continue with next month.
Yeah, I guess we can do that. What's it doing?
Move on to the next one for now. We'll take it for it.
Yeah.
All right, we will move forward to
1479.
7.4 on our agenda, case number 90-24, accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondents Shandarat Ramanarian at 1479 Franklin Street for inoperative vehicle and issue an order with compliance deadline and authorize the city to mitigate the violation if compliance is not met. Is anybody here to speak on that? No?
Good afternoon, Board. John Stevens, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 90-24, reference to 1479 Franklin Street for a nuisance abatement. We have one violation here for Code Section 3-1503B6, which is a storage of an inoperable vehicle. I know it says notice of violation was mailed and posted on 5/23, but a little backstory to this, we did a zone sweep back in April, on April 17th of this year, and initially this was cited then, it was when it was discovered, and actually sent a courtesy letter giving everybody 30 days to have problems with their properties in that area to rectify the problems. This is one of those properties that was identified that had several problems, to include this inoperable vehicle. So the compliance date was supposed to be 5/21. Ended up going out there on that date, and the vehicle was still there. They partially fixed it. They actually inflated the tires, and they put a license plate on the vehicle, but it was an invalid license plate. When I had Clearwater PD rent it, it was out of Pennsylvania, it was expired, and it belonged to another vehicle. So on the 23rd, I sent out a notice of violation and went and posted the truck that you see here in the picture. Compliance date was June 17th, and they received the certified mail on the 30th of May. This is a rental property, so the person that lives there, obviously this is their truck versus the actual property owner, I believe, but I have not had contact with anybody from the property. This was some further pictures on 5/23, again, of the bad tag there and showing that the tires had been fixed. And then on 6/21, when I went out there to check to see if it had been fixed, and it has not, it's still missing a tag. And then today, it is still missing a tag. So compliance could be met for storage of an inoperable vehicle by obtaining and displaying a legal license plate on the vehicle for that vehicle, and maintaining the condition of the vehicle both mechanically and legally, or they can remove it from the property.
And let me ask you one quick question, excuse me. The name here that I can't pronounce, that's the owners of the property. So we're not going after the vehicle owner, we're going, okay.
No.
Okay.
So we're requesting, again, compliance 5 days after the board renders their order.
right, any questions? Board?
Yeah, I have a question. Granted, this case is addressed to the owner of the property. If that's a rental property and the vehicle belongs to the tenant, I'm just wondering.
The only way we can get compliance is going after the owner of the property ultimately.
Yeah, the owner's still responsible regardless of, like the lawn being mowed, like even if it's a rent tenant there, they're still responsible for mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
The lawn, so it's unfortunate to have to remove somebody else's vehicle, but if he's not getting any communication, have you like knocked on the door, no one answered?
Well, the day actually we did the zone sweep, there was a older Hispanic lady out there that I tried to speak to, but she spoke zero English. And that's the only contact I've had with anybody there.
Have you spoken with the owner of the property?
Nope.
No.
It's just been through the communications I've sent. They signed for the green card, but yet no contact.
Okay. All right.
If a landlord contacted us and told us that, we're aware of the law, landlord-tenant law, and we would work with them, but that's really on them. We have no way of knowing that they don't own the vehicle or that the property's being leased or any of that stuff. We wouldn't have any way of knowing until they brought it to our attention.
All right, any other questions, board?
I move to enter order finding the respondent in violation of code, requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with reasonable costs, which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
A second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Can I ask you a question?
Motion passed.
You mentioned zone sweep. Can you tell me what a zone sweep is?
It's basically where we as an office will look at an area that probably needs a little bit of extra attention. And, we'll go out there, all the inspectors will get assigned a certain street and go down there and just look at every property and see the problems that are going on.
That's what I thought it was, but wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Inspector Stevens, are you ready for your first case?
Oh, we're gonna push that off to the end to see if we can
Okay.
locate that file.
All right, well, let's move on to
Thank you, John.
7.5 on our agenda, case 91-24, accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondents Jingbei Wang and Xing Tong at 200 Windward Island for lot clearing and issue an order with compliance deadline and authorize the city to mitigate the violation if compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No? Inspector Casman, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Board. Daniel Kasman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 91-24 from 200 Windward Island. This one might be familiar as well. You just saw it recently due to a dock issue, but today is for Code Section 3-1503B5A for accumulation and placement of nuisances. The date the notice of violation was sent out. I also posted the property. I would be getting complaints. 200 Windward Island again. We have a few cases here about a dock and also short-term rentals
Short-term
happening on the
rental, that's
property.
what I remember from short-term rental.
14 beds.
So this is the date of the posting. A lot of the issue is that the short-term rental people keep throwing out trash all over on the property there, and it keeps piling up. In addition, I don't know if you can tell, there'll be a closer photo. Half of the wood from the demolition of the dock is still being stored on the property. I've already asked the owner to remove all the wood from the dock demolition and any trash, and he has told me he would take care of it. As you can see, that's the wood from the dock demolition being stored behind the fence.
They're able to put that out on the street and let the city pick it up, right?
From what I got told, a lot of those pieces of wood are so heavy that even the claw truck couldn't handle it. He actually had to hire
waterlogged
independent folks to come by, get rid of half of it before.
Wow.
And they still have to get rid of the last half. They had to chop up the timbers in halves and quarters to be able to even put them in the back of a pickup truck.
Holy smokes.
Because they're so heavy.
And then
But
the
the
trash
trash
can
could.
go out onto the street, right? It's just laziness,
Well,
seems like.
I
said that. That's right, I said that.
The owners to the north and south continually are complaining about trash being left out in giant piles by the short-term renters, and then it doesn't get addressed until it becomes an issue, and we've got to talk to the owner about it every time, so. I did go back on the 20th, and a lot of trash was gone. The trash was gone, but the timbers are still there. And then today, the timbers are still there at the property. I am in contact with the owner, and I let him know the trash has to go and the timbers have to go from the demolition. He assured me it would be gone soon, but they're still there as of today. So I'd like an order just to prevent them, if we have to go over there and throw out trash or whatever's left from one of the parties or the rentals, then we could just do that going forward.
Are we still dealing with the short-term rental issue on that place?
Well, from what I can see, there's still trash being piled out outside.
Something's going on then, huh?
Yep.
So, compliance with for lot clearing by removing all trash and debris, including the wood and the metal from the dock demolition, and requesting compliance on it before 5 days from the date board renders its order.
Any questions, board?
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code, requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with the reasonable cost which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, board.
You're welcome. 7.6 on our agenda is withdrawn. 7.7 on the agenda, case 93-24, accept the nuisance abatement lien for respondents Robert Cox at 1204 Claire Drive for lot clearing and issue order with the compliance deadline and authorize city to mitigate the violation of compliance is not met. Is there anyone here to speak on that? No. Inspector Dixon, you have the floor.
Afternoon, Inspector Dixon, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case 93-24 for 1204 Claire Drive. There's one violation here for overgrowth and accumulation of trash and debris. The notice of violation is posted and mailed on 5/30 with a compliance date 10 days later. It's a vacant home. The roof's collapsed. Nobody lives there. I'm told that the owner's passed, but nobody's cutting the grass. This is the day of posting. There's a little pile of tires and some other trash behind the home that needs to go to. And here's the property this week. Nothing's changed except it's tall. So compliance can be met by clearing all overgrowth and remove debris from the entire property, and we're requesting compliance 5 days after the board renders its order.
Board, any questions for Inspector Dixon?
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry into the property to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with a reasonable cost which will become a lien on the property. If the costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Going back to 7.3.
Are we going back to 7.3?
We do not have we have the paperwork, we don't have any pictures or anything. If the board is willing to listen verbally.
Yeah, I would.
I think we're going to probably just say.
I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah,
Let's get it
yeah.
over with.
Just tell us what you know about it, Inspector Stevens.
Be eloquent,
Yeah, right.
paint a pretty picture.
Oh, or Miss Mulder?
Draw
I'm
us a
sorry,
picture.
who's? Or all of us.
I want to be involved.
How many Floridians does it take?
John, you're gonna have to draw us a picture.
Let us come help.
Need a
Mr.
whiteboard.
Here's a
Stevens,
pencil.
Obviously, I would be a starving artist.
we're gonna bust your chops about this all the time now,
Okay, monument.
I have a solution.
Oh, looky there. Nicole
You're gonna
comes
use
in
it.
to save the day.
Emojis?
The tall grass emoji and the lawnmower? Or what is this one for? Oh, lot clearing, so yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, Board. John Stevens, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. Again, you have the case number, because I don't have it right here in front of me, but this is reference 214 Highland Avenue, nuisance abatement. We have one violation here, 3-1503 B5A and B7. So lot clearing, a little bit of overgrowth and some debris through the property. Again, this was identified in the zone sweep back in April 17th of this year. And I got a couple of pictures I'm going to try to go through here. We can do one at a time. That's the front of the property there. It's kind of hard to see, but there's basically some splotchy grass is what I call it that grows up. So big mounds, they'll grow up here and there. Like there along the right of way against the sidewalk. When we get around to the side of the property, you can start seeing like up here, there's an old tire that's got a gash in it. There's one piece of trash you can see right there, but throughout the property, there's actually quite a bit of trash that has been allowed to kind of get out of the trash cans and get caught up in the brush pile there.
Was there people living there, or you said it was abandoned?
No, this is, if you remember the lady that came in last board meeting that represented Christine Dorcelis, which is the property owner. She was the realtor that was representing her. This is that property. So, you know, the initial time frame, they were asking for more time to get some stuff done because they were trying to, you know, sell this property. And it is for sale. I just think that they haven't had a whole lot of luck selling it due to price and some other dynamics. There's some yard waste that was still there during that time frame on April 17th. I have tried to contact Ms. Dorcelis. She has reached out to me, and we've played phone tag, but we've never actually spoken. But I've actually had quite a bit of luck speaking with the realtor. And she has been trying to help her out in getting the property cleaned up. So some of the grass has now been cut. Some of the things have been picked up, but not, you know, everything. This camper was removed, which was not a part of this proceeding, obviously, because it got removed prior to me actually started taking the enforcement route. Because we did the same thing on the zone sweep day, April 17th. We gave everybody 30 days to come to compliance. If not, then we were going to have to send formal notice of violation posting and whatnot. And that's what ended up happening. So I will go back and show you a couple more pictures from the compliance date. And that's the front of the property. It's going to flip for me. There's the grass. You can see a little bit better view of how it's kind of growing up and out of control more along the front there. Around the side again, overgrown grass, loose trash and debris in the yard in various places. Like the food container that's right here. Some other items that are back over here, looks like a cup.
His house is up for sale?
Yes.
I did think they'd clean it up to sell it. I mean,
Well, she's had issues with squatters and other things going on there at the property, but it's quite a bit. It's just pile of leaves and whatnot, other yard debris. This trash can that's right here has been sitting out there for quite a while, and it was about 3/4 full of trash on the compliance day. Now it's pretty much full because people come through there and they deposit trash like a community trash can, and since there's not utilities, solid waste doesn't remove it because it never makes it out to the curb. Some more of the loose trash and debris that's caught up in the brush there. It was actually like a booster seat that's caught up in that brush. I may have in another photo here.
Okay.
That's actually it right there. It's kind of hard to see, but there's like a child booster seat right there. This is the actual posting on that day where I physically posted the property and sent another notice through the mail as well. And then we'll go back to the last inspection that I did on here. This is on June the 6th. Again, you can see still the grass hasn't been touched. You got a bag of trash down here on the curb. That trash can is still there with quite a bit of stuff. There you can see the trash can's actually full right there. The child seat.
Yep.
The tire still. And some of the other debris. So if I actually had pictures from today with me, since we can't find that file, a lot of that has been cleaned up. The tire was removed, they actually cut the grass, they picked up a lot of the loose debris, but then they just left the trash can there with all the trash in it, and with the recent rain and some of the wind, stuff like that, now some of that trash is actually out on the property, but they basically cleaned up about 95% of what needs to be cleaned up.
Board, do we have any questions?
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city may take all reasonable actions, including entry into the property to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with reasonable costs which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. If there is nothing else, we will adjourn.
Thank you.